So I just heard somebody just jumped there. All right, so we are on a Get a Job project. This is kind of part two. There's part two. I don't remember if I gave them parts or not. The resume. So this week you're going to do 2 resumes. One is pretty simple. One you have to think about, maybe research a little bit, plan. And we're going to do 2 different types. We're going to do 2 different things because there's like a million different resume formats you can use. So overview of resumes here. So what we're doing, one resume we've written for you as a high school graduate. So you're pretending 4 years from now you're graduating high school. So you're not going to have a whole lot to put on there. That's kind of the point. The second one then will be to go along with the cover letter you wrote for part 1. So this is like for your dream job. So that means high school diploma. If you went to college for what you wanted to go for, if you needed to, you've done that. You have 3 years of work experience. So now you're like, you have your resume based on all those things. So it should look pretty solid. And this is, again, I'll try and throw this on the thing here. So resume is a document that describes your education, work experience, other qualifications. The heading, this kind of takes care of itself. This is all contact information. Profile or objective, usually objective. It's kind of like what your goal is, what you're trying to find. Experience, your work history, and you're doing those in order from, it's reverse chronological, so the most recent to the oldest. And if you've had 25 jobs, you don't want to list them all. So that's kind of part of the more jobs you have, in a sense. If they're very short, it doesn't look very good. For each position, include the job title, company, location, dates of employment, and a list of accomplishments if you have any, or maybe some of your tasks and responsibilities. Education. These are all different sections here. Highest degree first, or most recent degree first. And your high school diploma. If you have the college degree, you throw that in there. But if you have like multiple college degrees, you might not even throw that on there because of space. The big thing is you want this to be in one page, front side. It's not a front and back. It's not a multiple thing. Because think about this. So if you're applying for a job, is someone going to want to read through 2 to 3 pages of what you've done and then come and talk to you when they have like 25 others to go through? No, they're not. Think about this. How many of you are watching this video? Maybe volunteer work, certifications, awards, accomplishment. Those things can be on there if you have something to put on there. If you don't, then don't put them on there. It's not the end of the world. And then skills. For the high school one, we're going to be doing like the computer skills. We have some technology skills. And then for the second one is kind of skills you've learned on the job or be beneficial for that job. And then if we scroll down here again, we have an example resume. This is the resume that I used. It's not my name, but blah, blah, blah. It's not my address, not my email, not my phone number. When I got the job here at Fairfield. So this thing is on here. You can kind of look through there. I look really smart right there, right? Yeah, you're impressed, I know. That's not current, but that's okay. Is there another one down here? No. Okay, so what we're going to do here now. And again, so the first one is for the high school one. So we're going to kind of walk through this format together. So there's a student resume template you're going to open. It's going to look like this. And it's going to be pretty simple. So right here where it says first name, middle initial, you're going to type in your first name and middle initial. So for me, it'd be Mr. A. Sands. Then you're going to put your actual address, city, state, and the zip code. And you're going to have a comma and spaces in between them. Then you're going to have your email address and your phone. So what you're going to use for this first one, you're going to, even if you don't have this email address, you're just going to kind of use first and last name at gmail.com just to make it nice and simple. And phone number, you can put your real phone number on there. I'm not going to call you. And then to obtain a career in whatever you're kind of thinking about doing right now, this really could probably be for like a summer job. But so your objective should be to get experience working in the landscaping field, to gain work experience working. Maybe if you know what you're going to do and you can tie something in with that, that's great. There. So most regions, so the work experience, unless you've had a job, unless you think you're going to have had a job, which you're probably not, you're not even going to have this section. So that means, you just delete that. Yeah. Education. So this is where right here, you're going to delete these two. This is where you're going to type in, so right there is going to be Fairfield High School. And then the month and year of your graduation, which is probably like June 2024. Sound good? I'm sorry. Right here. I'm sorry. You put your high school diploma. My bad. And then Fairfield High School, Goshen, Indiana. And then these you would delete. Okay, so you kind of want me to see this, right? All right. So let's come back up. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then references. So again, then references: first name, last name, job, a company phone number, or phone number of people who can say good things about you. Hopefully you have those people already. And they're not related to you. So here's the thing. So if it's a Mr. Sands resume and everybody's references has a last name of Sands, that doesn't look good for me because that means I'm only having my relatives do it. So this could be a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be a youth pastor, it could be if you've had a job, your boss for that. Band director, choir director, kind of stuff like that. Again, and this is where that you would have asked them to be a reference for you so that you can ask them, can you say positive things about me? Because I can be a reference for anybody, but you might not like what I say because that honesty thing. Like Steve, like you don't do anything in class, I'm not going to give you a good one. Like one time, one girl asked me for it to be a reference, and she was sleeping in my class. Anyway, so basically, what you're going to have here, you're going to have this part filled out. You're going to have this part filled out. This part you're going to delete, and then you're going to delete the one other line there because you don't want two lines. Okay, you're going to have education right here, your high school diploma, and then you're going to have your references, and it's going to look really slim because it is because you haven't had real life experience and job experience, and that's okay. All right. So then you could use the same exact format for your career one, but we're going to make this a little better. So I think I'm just going to tell you how to do this right now. So basically, if you go off of this one, you're going to go to File. You're going to go to New. And some of you probably didn't even know this was here. From Template. And then you're going to scroll down a little bit and it has some things set up for you. I didn't even know this was all there. And we're going to come down. They have cover letters in there. Resume. So they have different forms. I'll be honest, this one right here, I don't really like how it looks. Again, this is kind of your choice, but your choice what you're going to choose. Which one do I want to choose today? From my perspective, I don't like this one as much because it gives you these two column things and it's just kind of weird. So I'm going to give you the option of you can choose either the Swiss or the spearmint. I'm going to go to spearmint because that's what we usually do. But if you want to use Swiss, if you're big into Swiss Miss or Swiss cheese or Swiss, I don't know. Anyway, so it's going to come in here and you're plugging and playing stuff here and it's going to be a different language. So again, I'm going to kind of walk you through this in a little bit more. So again, your name here, I can triple click on a row. Mr. Sands, again, you're putting your first name, you're not putting Mr. and Ms. Right here in this one, you're going to be putting your career goal. So this doesn't have that objective thing. So this is going to be, for me, I'm going to put teacher. Or actually, I should put business teacher. And maybe if it's you, maybe business teacher and coach. You could spell coach. All right. That stuff, the stuff you can figure out here. Again, for your email, I might probably use first and last name Gmail, even if it's not yours. For the simplicity here, we're not using hotmama@gmail.com or I rock at Fortnite. It's professional. Okay. Skills. So you can kind of go with a little bullet list, or you can just kind of list them here. So things to think about. So skills. So computer skills. So you could have on here Google Docs, Google Sheets. Now, just because I'm writing it doesn't mean you should. You have to actually have those skills, Google Slides, maybe you have Google Forms, maybe you have Adobe Photoshop, maybe there's other skills you have that would apply to the job. But here's the thing. So if I'm applying to be an Olympic athlete, which, oh, by the way, you can't do professional athlete for this. Sorry, because you missed out my professional athlete talk because I had a really good one about how many kids from Fairfield have gone on to be professional athletes and Division I athletes. You guys know the answer to that, right? How many is it? let's see, multiplied by 4, and then 16, and then it's 0. The highest achieving third-field athlete is an athlete you've never heard of. You may know about Matt Rush. Matt Rush was in the Olympic qualifying for the 110-meter high hurdle. Didn't make it, but hey. Then he also ran track at University of Tennessee, if you like that sort of thing. I beat him once in the high jump in 8th grade. It's awesome. Remember that, Matt? Well, you're not watching this video, so it's okay. It's the only time I beat him. It's okay. I'm okay with it. So professional athlete is not even if you know you're going to be a professional athlete, you're not going to be because Okay, so skills there could be other skills in there. Something that you can prove. You can't really say I'm on time. Okay, something that you could show off. Like I could do something on Google Docs sheet. I could actually make something on there. Say, hey, I made this. I mean, I guess I showed up on time, but that's not really skill. All right, experience. So you're going to have one job. So this is where your cover letter was for. You're going to have one job. I don't care where it is again. So then basically I can get rid of not that one. Come on, I can get rid of I don't know what just happened. Oh, perfect. All right, so my company name. So I'm going to say that I worked at, that's my last place, Jimtown High School. The location was Elkhart, Indiana. The job title was business teacher. Here's the thing: we gotta make sure formatting stuff works. Okay. The month it was August. Boy, I'm not gonna know that one for sure. I'm gonna say 2010 to June. So for you guys, you're going to have this job for the last 3 years. So you're thinking about this. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. If you don't need a college degree or certification, you can go into this right after high school. So that means that you would be working from June 2024 through current. Right? Yeah. And then if you went to get a 4-year degree, it'd be June 2028 to current. Or if you had to get if you're going to be a doctor, then it would be June 2032 to current. Oh my gosh. All right. So that's going to be, for you. And then you could be describing some things you did. And this is where you look up resumes for your specific career. So if I was looking up a teacher resume, I would say, what are some things that I could put on there? Planned lessons according to state standards. Depending on your job. You want these things. So you're sort of lying because it's not true, but this is the resume that you'd really like to have. 3 years of work experience. So you actually have to look. Maybe it's in cover letters they take. Maybe it's in resumes they tell you 4 year specific. So like if I'm looking at this, I would Google teacher resumes, and then I would find some things on there that make you look good. Okay, it's pretty simple. It's called research. You're probably not going to know right now. 2 to 3, you don't want to have 25 because that makes it looks weird too. Okay, so those would be there. And if you only have 2, then obviously you would delete that one. Education, this is going to be different for each person. So let's see here. So if I know I had multiple degrees here, I would go ahead and copy and paste that because I know I have 2. So for example, the most recent one first. So my most recent. So the school name, oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called. Masters. Where did I get my master's? I seriously forgot. Anyway, so I'll just my own. So Huntington University. So wherever you went to college, or where you went, and again, so if you needed a college degree, you're kind of making this is where I'd really like to go. It doesn't matter right now if you can't afford it or if you can't get in. It's just kind of the thing. But be a little bit realistic. I mean, think about how many kids get into Notre Dame here. Location is Huntington, Indiana. My degree from there was a Bachelor of Science in Business Management and Economics. Yeah, it's called a double major. And then you put the month, so that's again going to be probably August. So you guys, August 2024 through May, because usually college is going to get out earlier, May 2028. And then if you did anything special here, if you were like cum laude or anything like that, that means graduating with high distinction and honors and all that kind of stuff. If you did some special project, I had an economic impact study on Huntington, the economic impact of Huntington College on Huntington County study I did that I threw on there. It's kind of interesting. But there, and then if you had another one again, the most recent one first. So if you went to two different schools, the one you went to second or most recent would be first. Okay, but then since I'm only going to show you that, so if you don't have anything interesting to say, I mean, it's perfectly fine to just boom. There's my education. Okay, awards you could also, if you have anything, if you don't have any awards, like if you got Employee of the Month or something. And again, since you're making this up, make one up. But if not, if you don't have any awards, there, we delete it. Okay, and it says print on the thing, but obviously you're not going to print it because you can't print. So then, actually, I'll probably just make that for you because otherwise you guys are all going to forget how to do it. Anyway, so there's a resume again. It's going to be for your career, and again, you can't be a professional athlete for this. Sorry to disappoint you. Just the reality of how many Division I athletes are walking around the hallways at Fairfield. Well, none right now because nobody's in there. All right. I think that's it for the resume. Again, research. If you don't know something, look up something. If I want to be a doctor, doctor's resume. If I want to be a hygienist resume. If I want to be a massage therapist resume. You just Google it